Greetings and welcome back, one and all, to the City of Unknown in City Skylines and to yet another traffic jam. Only this time, it's not cars, it's trains. My trains are having traffic jams all the way back down to here. I've even adjusted it slightly to try and help, but namely in this area, but the next step that I've already taken is to reduce the budget for trains, so there will be less trains operating. I'm not sure if this is going to help. I mean, this area is particularly bad. Honestly, I'm not sure about that one tiny little bit. The only thing that I can think of is possibly having some sort of overpass so that the trains trying to get down on this side can. I'm not sure. The trains seem to suffer from the same sort of logic that the cars do, in that they'll always use one particular lane. Now, before I do anything though, I've been given some advice to change this road slightly to a one-way, and hopefully that will help a little bit in that the tankers won't have to cross each other. Let's turn that around, there we go. So now all the tankers that want to go up to the depot and all the tankers coming out of it have to go around in this nice, organized fashion. That does seem like it'll help a little bit, because there's an awful lot of cargo going that way. Not so much there. How about down here? Is it backed up down here? Well, there's not much I can do down there, even if it is, so they'll just have to live with that one. Now then, how's the traffic doing on the whole? Just loads of tankers all trying to get out, namely because of this junction here. Now the problem is I can't easily make this into a highway, because obviously that's not going to operate the right way. But perhaps I could use one of these roads instead. Let's just have a quick look at how this would affect this place. So let's go ahead and upgrade that. Oops, wrong road, actually, come to think of it. There we go. Let's see if this makes any difference, really, on the whole. Because at least then we've got two distinct lanes that they use. There we are. That may help, though. Oh my god, this junction is just a nightmare. 2 tankers got through there. Only 2. Stopping and starting constantly. Kinda disapprove of that. Now, traffic's backing up there. We've got a huge lane of traffic over here. I'm not liking it, honestly. I'm thinking we're going to need to address that sooner rather than later, I fancy. But for the time being, perhaps we'll have a roundabout. I know everyone just groaned in unison. But for the time being, we have other things that I would like to work on. It has been suggested to me that I go through some of the districts and turn on a policy. A city planning policy, say high-tech housing. Turns homes into much cooler smart homes to raise the land value around them. Slightly increased land value. Upkeep is 4 super ultra megabytes per residential building. Big business benefactor, high-density commercial buildings, double their sales. That might be nice. Low-density commercial buildings, double their sales. You know what, I'm going to turn all of those on for this area. Hopefully that'll help. We'll also have high-tech housing here, but those are the only 2 districts that I'm going to put high-tech housing in. Now, the reason behind that, I don't think I want high-tech housing over here. Just as a general rule, this area should be a bit more down-to-earth, really. I don't think high-tech housing would suit this area quite as much. Let's expand that out just slightly. And in Gentry Terraces, well, I guess I could have high-tech housing in Gentry Terraces. I mean, it would make sense, because it drives up the land value. But at the same time, I kind of like oldie-worldy manor housey. I mean, down here, perhaps, in the Gentry Council, but there's no easy way for me to separate them, unless I make this a distinct district all its own, and name it the Gentry Council. That is possible, I suppose. Yes, okay, we're going to make this a specific district within Gentry Terraces that will be the Gentry Council. Alright, let's start there and build this out. There we go. Just this little bit for the Gentry Council, though. It's not quite right, oh well. Alright, let's get in here. We want the policies for you. High-tech housing, please. Well, we'll allow the traffic. We've got some commercial here. Let's have a quick look. It's just light commercial, so that's fine. So let's go in here. Back to policies. We'll give small business enthusiasts. We'll also give smoke detectors, parks and recreation, education boost. There we go. We're going to pay a lot of money for the Gentry Council. I hope they appreciate it. There is a lot of dinging going on, so I think they do. Fantastic. Now, let's have a look around the rest of this place. This place probably doesn't need it too much, considering... Oh, wow. Okay. Take it back. Look at that. Level 5. Because the land value has risen so sharply. Egads. 8 of 9 households. How big is this one? 26 household potential there. And the same over here as well. Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What about Rick Eaglebrick? How's it looking down here? Have we got crazy, awesome looking buildings? We do. Oh, that is lovely. Thank you very much for the advice, everyone. That turned out really bloody good. Okay. Got parks and recreation there. Now we've got quite a few parks in here as well. I think we'll put parks and recreation on in here as well. We won't put on the education boost, though. We'll leave the education boost where it is. How's everything going on down here? Let's actually have a look at our power usage. Pretty good at the moment. What about water? Could be better. But given how good our power usage is, I think it's important that we start getting rid of some of these wind turbines right next to our docks. Pardon me, a hiccup there. Right. Sunday Smile Sun Drinker. You have quite a pretty name. I'm going to miss you a little bit. There we go. Goodbye. What's the next one? We need to know the names. The Nebula Bomb, Wet Blowery, and the Anxious Artist Spinning Thinger. Goodbye to both of you. Your services are appreciated, but no longer required. In fact, to be perfectly honest, with our budget where it is at the moment, we don't need any of these. So the Rota Fury Rotator, the Dunhamzim Tide Wrangler, and the McAllen Turbine, and finally the Jaradan Air Funnel. All of you are going. I shall miss you all. You are the reason this great city has become great. Or at least part of the reason. You're somewhat related to the events which have led to this city becoming a great city. In my humble opinion, anyway. Right, okay, well, that was a bit of a busy few moments there. Let's have a look at this one. Is it still emptying? It really doesn't need to be anymore. This one's still emptying. Doesn't need to be anymore. How are we doing? All of our graves doing alright? This graveyard is full. Okay, let's start emptying that one out. Really? Both of these are full as well? Scallywaggery. We'll try and empty a couple of those out. Now then, this place looks absolutely amazing. How close are we to getting our level 5s? We've got a level 5 over there, actually. Oh, glorious. A couple of level 5s, in fact. Things are going well. Right, we have a demand for residential, which is interesting, considering a bunch of them just upgraded to level 5. We also have a fair demand for commercial, and a little bit of demand for industrial. Oh. Lots of people unhappy down here. But I'm thinking, as much as I want to increase the growery area, we're going to be working on this area. So we're going to buy a new plot of land. This one specifically. 15 grand it's going to cost. The only thing it doesn't have is a rail connection. That's fine. Let's purchase it. There we go. We now own this highway as well. Which means that we can bring it along over here. Now, it has been pointed out that this is not a good connection, and it isn't. It could be made significantly better, to be fair. But that is true of almost all of my intersections, except this one. And this one probably could still be made better. It's just that I'm not going to. We could have it can be completely raised. intersection, but we'll have to look into that. But now, finally, we can start upgrading the Bone Dragon Henge area. We'll slow down time, because the first thing we're going to want to do is sort out this intersection here. All the way around. Goodbye. Be gone. Farewell. Thank you for all the fish. There we go. We'll actually take this bridge away as well. For the time being, just so that you guys can actually turn around, I'll connect these two. Or I was going to. Like so. That's actually the wrong thing. I apologize, everyone. There we go. Right, now, while I'm working on this, I will show you how I've been doing it so far. I'm thinking we may as well follow the same pattern, kind of. It's going to be a long curve, but I'm thinking we'll bring it around here and then a sharper curve and then across. That way we've got the highway coming more over here and we can have another big roundabout intersection for them to get on or off it. First step, we want to be measured in how we expand this out. I believe this is the other way, so we'll start with this one. So we want to bring it out to about here. Now the way that I get these to link across is by using a little bit of a road. I'm going to bring it out by that much, I believe. Let me just double check, because it could have been 2 that I need to bring it out by. Yeah, it needs to be the second point. And what I mean by that is that when I'm drawing it out, the moment it shows me a grid, so there, I bring it out by 1 more. And that will give me a measure for this road. So from here down should connect perfectly and be an even distance apart. Also, all of the pillars should be exactly the same place, which is exactly what we want. Now the next point in this needs to be around here somewhere. So what I need to do for this is make a bit of a turn. So we want a curve tool, and about there, I would say. Right there. And then straight along for a little bit. Doesn't really matter how long I make that one. That's about where I wanted it to be. What does matter is bringing this out again as soon as I find that junction. So once again, 1 extra out. And then down here in the same way. And now, if I connect them up, it should all connect nicely. I've got to kinda remember how I had this curve. That's far too shallow. Also too shallow. That looks right. More or less. There we go. Perfect. Then you can delete these roads. And you end up with something that more or less matches all the way along. It is a bit finicky to do this, but on the whole, I think it's well worth it. The results speak for themselves, really. They look a hell of a lot better. Now, I'm thinking of having a docks over here. We'll also probably have a path connecting so that the citizens of Bone Dragon Henge, which is going to pretty much engulf the remainder of this island. I mean, almost to the point that Asher Moonrise would be forgiven for worrying that it was about to be eaten. But it's not. Asher Moonrise is cemented in the history of Anoon. It doesn't need to panic. Yet. Maybe. Bring this out to about there. Something about there, I'm thinking. Then we want another straight path. Just enough so that we can create our junction. There we are. And again. And then bring it back. Now, this one's going to be a little bit more tricky, I fancy. Not quite. Actually, that was not bad. That almost looks perfect. It's not quite, but it's easily livable. Alright, that is actually a fairly good highway there. Now, I've been thinking about when I'm done with Anoon, and when I move on to the next city, because it's going to happen, you know, we'll be realistic. There are going to be other cities in time. What I'm going to do with that. And at the moment, we're going to need this to come up a fair ways. And then down. I've got a bit of a plan to have... Well, just the way I'm going to set up the highways. For example, I would like the highway with a railroad running between the two sections. And the way I'm going to deal with the roundabouts. Because, let's be honest with ourselves, there are going to be roundabouts. A city in City Skylines without roundabouts is scarcely a city in City Skylines at all, in my opinion. Let's connect these up just for convenience. There we go. We also need to reverse it. There we are. Right. Okay, now, once again, we want a straight road. Going from here. Across. It should remember. Let's bring that in a little bit. Yeah, I quite like having that bridge like so. And we can have a little curve just up around here. But for now, we'll quickly go back and connect these up. Finding the point where this connects is the tricky part. There we go, I think. That might not be exactly right, though. Well, it's near enough. Alright, there we are. Fantastic. Get rid of those. Okay then. Right, well. We've spent a lot of time just getting this highway built up in this episode, and I don't want to spend the entire episode just working on the highway. So, what I'm going to do is, for a temporary measure, I'm just going to connect these up like this. Very much a temporary measure, though, so be aware of that. This is not going to be staying this way. No. There we go. To about there. Then we want this to connect up. Then we want to reverse it. Then we will get to work on Bone Dragon Henge. And the expansion of. Oh, this is going to be exciting. Right, well, the first part, we want to drive this road all the way down. For a fair old ways. The roundabout will be somewhere about here, so I'm going to stop this road there. We'll build a roundabout in the next episode, I fancy. However, I noticed that a lot of my roads are actually fairly small scale, and I want to fix that. I'm kind of tempted to upgrade this road going along. That would ruin a couple of things, but... I could afford to do it on this one. Let's go ahead with that. It's going to require a bit of rezoning, but we'll be able to take care of that. It shouldn't be a problem. There we go. Now I would like to do the same down here. I'm not sure if we can afford to, though. Throw caution to the wind. Makes sense in my head. We'll go with it. There we are. And I can hook up to that bus stop then. Right, this road we're going to continue on with. Right after I built that up. There we are. Oh, well, really? When did that happen? Is that the same on this side? No, it's all okay on this side. We'll actually also paint this up. Yeah, sure. There we are. Now, we want this road to come down, sweep along the coast, so that we can have a lot of buildings branching off it, or rather a lot of roads branching off it. And they can enjoy the sea view. So bring that down there. Kind of following the highway in a way. Though that isn't particularly my intent. About, let's see. It's to be about there, I would say. Then switch back to this. Drive this all the way up. Then we'll go freehand for this last bit. There we are. Now over here somewhere we'll connect back through. For now, in fact, we'll probably have a road branching off the roundabout that we're going to be building. Ooh, actually, that's getting a little bit close to where I want the roundabout, because I want the roundabout like that, really. Okay, well, let's adjust this slightly then, given that. And by slightly, I mean delete the entire thing and start again. I sometimes wonder if the word slight has just been connected improperly in my brain. It doesn't seem to mean what I think it's meant to mean. At least to me. This would seem to hold true, because whenever I think something is slightly expensive, turns out that most people disagree with me. They think it's very expensive. Okay, well that's good enough for now. Let's just start working on some of these lovely roads over on this side. We'll allow a break in the buildings around here. We could perhaps take a path down there at some point. We'll just have this one come straight down. Then we want a grassy road moving along the shoreline. We don't want to obscure people's view, basically. Let's go to freehand and also start using... Stop locking it to the terrain. There we go. Around there, maybe? That'll do. There we are. Now, how are we going to set this up? Because this is far too much area for us not to develop properly. Let's go for some tree-lined streets. Possibly one running straight down the middle. Like so. We could have another running through here. Or just another one going straight down the... Well, actually, no. I kind of like the idea of having a bit more of a tiered effect. I'll move it down just slightly. Up one, there we go. There we are. And this can possibly just connect. Like so. There we are. I think that gives us some interesting shapes. Once again, we are going to try to manage the types of houses that we have along this area. We're probably not going to have any down here. Again, we don't want to mess up the view. We'll have some around here, though. That seems reasonable. There might be one there as well. But this area is just going to be a very long view out to the ocean. Except for perhaps over here from about there onwards, maybe? I don't know. But on the inside, we are definitely going to be painting with high density. I quite like that idea. Having low density on the outside, high density on the inside. Actually, these ones will be reserved for possibly some shops. Get some nice restaurants with a view of the ocean. And, you know, the mild amount of pollution that we're pumping into it. Okay, yeah, maybe I haven't thought that one out completely yet. But, I'll address that in time. I'm sure I'll find a way. We'll cure pollution. I promise you, as the mayor of Anoon, we will find a cure. We will make Captain Planet very proud of us. There we go. So that should help us a little bit with the amount of demand for residential we have. But as I was mentioning, we could then have some shops just down in this area. And again, I kind of like the idea of having low density with these ones. We could have high density along the back, or just more high density residential. Let's go for high density residential over to there, and then high density residential from here onwards. There we are. And then this little area be high density commercial. There we go. That actually looks quite nice. Now the only thing is, we are going to need this roundabout there before we can probably hook up the bus system. And I'm probably going to do that off screen because there's usually a lot of fiddling around to get that to look right. But the last thing that we're going to do here is hook up this bus route. It's getting a very complicated bus route at this point. I am slowly warming to the idea of having the bus routes instead of all one massive bus terminal, which is a really common way of doing it over here. Instead, having a local bus route just within each district and then relying instead on the metro more to take it elsewhere. But I'm undecided on that one. I do quite like having these bus routes. But let's draw out a bus route to about here, I think. No, actually, we wanted to go around there. Then bring it all the way around to about here, I would say. And finally, all the way down to the front and back. That should make them all very, very happy with us. And I suppose one of the last things we really want to work on, that they will get power just as soon as these buildings built up, is our frankly hopeless elementary school situation. Because that is really actually bad. So, I think it may actually be nice to have an elementary school around this area. And why not pop it just about there. There we go. Fantastic. That'll upgrade slightly. We'll also give them a park. Especially since we've got an elementary school there. Let's have a park for children. A large playground. Let's go with that. We'll put it right next to the elementary school. Can we put it on this side at all? We can. So let's do that. I know I'm demolishing some houses, and I am a little bit sorry about that, but damn it. The children need a place to play. And we could then hook this up like so. Actually, let's delete this little bit. Oh, damn it. I'm going to have to delete the whole thing. Okay, we'll bring this down to about there. Freehand it. About there, I would say. And then straight down. Distance too short. There we go. I'll allow them all to link up there. We'll do something similar on this side as well, I think. There we are. So we've connected those areas up. The last thing we're going to do then, we're going to name these areas. This one shall be the... Let's see, I didn't have my list up on the other screen. Go away. Chirper. Right, this one shall be the Shaniog. Ah, go away. I may actually get the mod to turn you off if you keep up with that. Shaniog. This is named for Ben McGuinness. There we go. And the large playground shall be the Ollie, named for Ollie the Healer. The Ollie Funnery. There we go. I could possibly have positioned the bus lane slightly better there, but I believe there's a bus lane just over here, so people can walk straight across. That shouldn't actually be a problem for them. Okay, not too bad. We've got some issues with workers, but I'm sure that will fix itself as we get more and more residences upgrading and thus having more room for them to live here. On the whole, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. We've got fire already, but the fire brigade have already made it there. So that's not too bad. Okay then, so in this episode we have done a little bit of caretaking, and we have extended out this highway. That's something that I've been meaning to do for a very long time, and we are starting the expansion of Bone Dragon Henge. In the next episode, I will have already built the roundabout, which will include access onto the highway. And the rest of the episode, I imagine, will be in furnishing out the remainder of Bone Dragon Henge and expanding out the district. Now, on that note, I really should do that now. Absolutely no reason not to. So, let's bring all of this out. It's going to take up this whole area. this will be our largest district by far. Ah, fantastic. Bone Dragon Henge, you have grown up into a strapping district. I was going to say young district, but you're kind of old, actually, as far as districts go. I think you were one of the first 3 or 4 districts that we named. Oh, actually, no, we had the Beelzebubble Industrial Park, so one of the first 5. But that is it from me and from the City of Anoon. I do hope you've enjoyed this episode, and will be joining us for the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.